Those are the names we give to the toilets. Good evening, my name's RobAuton. I come from York. I bought a I Heart NY t-shirt and I crossed out the N with a permanent marker. I'm on tour at the moment, just doing one night tonight. Thanks for coming. Right, I would like to start with a piece about fish. Does anyone like fish?
Yeah!
Yeah?
Me? I like fish.
What type of fish do you like?
I love samurai warrior fish. They're quite cool. And I also like I like polycarp as well. Polycarp. And
Right. Anyone else? Haddock. Haddock. Right, well this is called fish. Fish in the sea. Why do you get to be so free? Fish in the bowl. Why do you get to be so gold? Fish in the supermarket. Why do you get to be so dead? Fish in my stomach. Why do you get to be so nutritious? When I was little, I used to be quite an upbeat kind of guy. I used to think CCTV was a very, very positive Spanish television channel. But it's not. What have I been doing today? Do you know what time I set off for this gig this morning? 9:30. Right? And I was on Northumberland Street earlier. And I saw a lady get wrestled to the ground by a police officer. And she was the loudest person I've ever heard in my life. I've been thinking about has anyone got kids? Has anyone got children?
Yay!
Yeah, alright. How's this doing? How's the people behind this speaker doing? You alright? Yeah? Alright. Alright, I've been thinking, trying to think if I have a little boy what I'm going to call him, and this is about that. It's called Father and Son. If I have a son, his name will be Dad. After my dad. And his 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 dad. At the hospital, I will introduce Dad to my mum. Mum! This is Dad! Your grandson! Don't cry, Dad. It's Mum! Your grandma. On Christmas Eve I'll say to him, Dad, I think you better be getting to bed soon, Dad. Well, Father Christmas won't come. And he will be confused. But not as confused as me. As he grows up, other children will call him by his name, and my son will become the father figure of the playground. Pass me the ball, Dad! 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 Pass me the ball. My mum said you can come round to my house for tea tonight, Dad. At morning registration, his teacher will call him by his name in a voice of complete and utter tenderness. Dad. Where there's a will, there's a dead person. I live in Walthamstow in London, and you get quite a lot of religious people in Walthamstow. I don't know if you have them in Newcastle. People believe in God down there. They think God made Walthamstow. I'm not sure if he did. This guy came up to me, and he put his hand on my shoulder like that. I didn't know what was happening, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he went, You can be sure. You can be sure. I said, you are? And he said, you can be sure. Here, look. I've got this flyer, look. You can be sure. You can be sure. You can be sure. And I said, what? And he said, look, you can be sure. And it says on my flyer. I said, I'm not sure. And he said, you can be sure. And I said, can I? Can I? And he said, yes, I'm sure. You can be sure. Look, it says it here. And said, just take it. And I said, all right, look, I'll take your flyer, but I like the sky. I'm not too bothered about this bit here, that crucifix. And he was like, that's the most important bit, mate. You're going to take it for that bit. And I said, all right, I'll take your flyer. So I took it off him, and I looked at it, and I thought, hold on, I know what's happened here. They've missed off the apostrophe. They've missed off the apostrophe, mate. Look. You can't be sure. You can't be sure. So I put my hand on his shoulder like that, and it was like, you can't be sure. Here, look, take my flyer. You can't be sure. Religion's just a typo, mate. Look. Religion's just a typo. You can't be sure. He said, what? I said, you can't be sure. Look, take my flyer. You can't be sure. He said, what? I said, you can't be sure. And he said, what? I said, you can't be sure. He said, what? And I said, oh, don't get cross. Right. I was up at the Edinburgh Fringe this year. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't really do jokes. And I won this competition, right? And this is a joke. I heard a rumour that Cadbury's are releasing an Oriental chocolate bar. Could be a Chinese whisper. Right? Funniest joke. Funniest joke.
Should I say?
Vanessa Phelps didn't. Right, I once asked a painter and decorating company to paint a room of my house. I was explicitly clear about the colour that I wanted it painted. I really like the colour yellow. Yeah. And the painter and decorating company painted it the wrong colour. This is called maroon. Right. The painters have painted my room. Maroon. Maroon. Yeah. The painters have painted my room. Maroon. 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 Yeah. I've got a maroon moon. Yeah. I'm marooned in a room of maroon. The walls of my room are maroon. The floor of my room is maroon. The curtains of my room are maroon. It's so maroon, it's ruined.
My maroon. My room.
Yeah. Give me back my room. No. Takes away the maroon. I look up to the 12 of my SpongeBob SquarePants clock and you can see that where the painters are painted, there's still quite a big dollop of maroon paint over the 12 of my clock. The painters have painted my...
Maroon.
What? Not my clock. Maroon. What? Maroon. Yes! Maroon! My noon's maroon! I've got a maroon noon! I tear down my maroon curtains and I look up to the moon. The painters are painting my moon. Okay, right. This is your opportunity to shout maroon as loudly as you can. If you've got something at work that's annoying you, or something in life that you kind of want to get off your chest, vent it through shouting as loudly as you can, without people thinking you're an absolute maniac. It's difficult to find places where you can shout. Do some neck exercises, whatever. This is your opportunity, so take it or leave it. The painters are painting my moon. The painters are painting my moon. My moon! My moon! My moon's maroon! I've got a maroon moon! The man on the moon is acting maroon. The can't jump in over the moon's maroon. The sky surrounding the moon's maroon. The moon is maroon in the sky. Maroon. I'm marooned in a world of maroon. Thank you. Right. I've got this book, right, called In Heaven. It's not called Maroon, but there is. Is that Maroon?
Yeah.
It's called In Heaven, The Onions Make You Laugh. And I also do drawings. There's a drawing. Trying to eat an apple by licking it. Don't do it. This is called Breakfast. It's very short. It's that long. 3 lines. It's got its own page. 3 lines. I do try to do audience interaction, but I find it hard. It's called Breakfast. I knew the world outside had ended when I poured milk on my Rice Krispies and they made no sound. Thanks a lot. This is called Bacon. It's got its own, it's a pig. Does anyone like bacon? Do you like bacon?
Yeah.
Eh?
Love the bacon. We love the bacon.
Love the bacon.
Bacon.
Right, Francis Bacon and Kevin Bacon are the rashers from a very talented pig. The pig could paint, the pig could act, the pig was a genius, as a matter of fact. I've got loads of these books. There's Hitler. If you like Hitler, I'm not much of a fan, but I do think he was a very good public speaker. There's Dali. Okay, right, if you want one of them, they're £10. I've got loads. Okay, right, I'm going to... I really like the sky, right? Can I give you that? I really like the sky, and I like the sky so much, I started publishing my own newspaper. Called The Sky. It's a bit like The Sun, but with less nudity and murder. And basically what I've done over the past few months is cut out all the bits of sky from the newspapers and stuck them down to create a newspaper I actually want to look at. more views than news, to be honest. There's page 3.
Hey!
She's in like a burqa, made entirely from sky. A rectangular burqa made entirely from sky. She's in disguise. Okay. And I'd like to do this piece. So I don't have time to do this bit, but I need to explain it. So one morning I found a small piece of night sky that had fallen to the ground, and it was in like a heap on the floor, and I went up to it and it had kind of tiny stars for teeth, and it started talking to me, and it's not a true story, I made it up. And it started talking to me and ordering me about and things like that. And this piece finishes with me saying, "No, shut up! I can't do what you've just told me to do. I've got council tax bills to pay, you know." I collapsed onto the pavement and lay on my back, looking up to the blue of the morning, and I began to think about everything that that piece of night sky had said to me, and in an attempt to get up into the sky and eventually reach the moon to get a better view of the earth, I took every upward step I had ever made and stuck them together to create a staircase of my past climbs. So every time in my life that I had climbed up onto, say, a kickstall, the height I climbed would be represented by that particular kickstall. One kickstall for every time I climbed up onto it. These were then stuck together with some sort of strong bracket, resulting in a narrow set of stairs made entirely from kickstalls. Having worked in an art supply shop for 3 years, I had stood up on the same red kickstall thousands and thousands of times. I watched as the red kickstall climbs were fixed together by a construction team of people that seemed to appear from nowhere, who all wanted to help me with my task of getting above the clouds and reaching the moon. Before I knew it, there was this thin staircase of kickstalls disappearing up into the sky with stanchions. I then began to think of all the ladders I had climbed over the course of my life. Saw them appear instantly above me. Can you hear both, like the music and me talking? Yeah, right. Ladders from back home in York, when Dad sent me up into the loft to get the Christmas decorations down. Wooden ladders and metal ladders of all sizes came together to give me another couple of kilometres of height. Then came the stairs of my life. I began to think about every stair and staircase I'd climbed since birth. Starting with the stairs that I tried to climb when I was a baby, but I was too small. So my mum and dad held my hand and helped me up them. I then began to think of the stairs to my upstairs flat in Newcastle, at university, climbing them almost every day. Hold on. Starting with the stairs to my upstairs flat in Walthamstow, climbing them almost every day. For the past 3 years, that has to be at least 800 stair climbs. And then my university flat in Newcastle. The stairs to my halls of residence. The stairs to every upper deck of a bus I have ever travelled on. The 3 or so stairs to the National Express coaches. The purple wooden steps up to the waltzers at the village fair. The old spiral staircase. The stone steps of every major city I have ever visited. Seeing them being stuck together from end to end to end to end, I was surprised at just how high they went. I looked up to see the structure, now with clouds passing across it, and began to think I may actually complete the 384,400 kilometre journey to the moon. Next came my escalator trips, London Underground stations, the trips to Marks and Spencer's with my mum when I was little. Metal upon metal was fixed together as the world's media began to gather at the base of my upward climb. "Why are you doing this?" they asked. "Why aren't you doing this?" I replied. Next, a huge elevator shaft was built. The Empire State Building gave generously. As months of construction passed, they all added up and up and up and up, and I began to realise just how unsteady the structure looked. Like a staircase, built by Tim Burton, with Edward Scissorhands as his head architect, jagged and bad teeth-like, swaying in the wind. I tried to tell myself that I had climbed every one of these before. I could do it again. People started to really want to help me, so they would all come with memories of stairs that we had climbed together. Stairs from football grounds, theme parks, car parks. When people stopped offering up information, I packed a bag, said my goodbyes, and began to climb up the red kickstools of my past. Voices from the art shop filled my head as I quickly rose up into the morning sky. Every minute that I spent in that shop, I wanted to be somewhere else. No, I was somewhere else, and I still didn't know where I wanted to be. I had always been afraid of heights, but this just seemed different in some way. Like I was climbing up a memory that was never going to let me fall. Or maybe I was climbing up my own life. That's what I've got to do, I thought. Climb up my own life. Until I die. Different steps came with different memories. I knew I had climbed steps with my grandpa, but could not remember them. After a couple of years of climbing, I finally reached my destination. I had done that thing when you climb a hill and say, "Don't look round at the view," until we reach the top. When I stepped foot on the moon, my foot plummeted into its dust up to my knee. I felt a long way away from war and love and my friends and my family. I lifted my mundus-coated foot and looked round at the wood bowl where I live and could almost see the beautiful birds flying around it. I stood there for a minute in silence, took a deep breath and began to make my way home on every downward journey I had ever made. And on my return, I realised that all the magic has been done down here. The beautiful, horrific, bumbling, inspirational, unorganised chaos that I don't understand that is the human race on planet Earth. We only see the sun rise because the earth gives it something to rise from. The birds only fly because they've got something to land on. What is the sky without someone to look at it? And someone to look at it with. The sky is the topping, but the earth is the cake. And every time I go up in a plane, I look forward to being above the clouds, but I feel such a sense of relief when I get my feet back on the ground. I know I am back where I belong, with the species that I belong to, where I can say the words, the sky, and people know what I mean. If the world is a stage, and the sky is the backdrop, and I don't know what kind of messed up comedy drama this life is, but I do know that this is my home. This is where I need to be. And whenever life gets too much, I can look up and escape to where life isn't, to prepare myself for where life is. The sky is as blank as the future. The past is littered with what we've done, but the future is as clear as clear as when you look up and you can't see where it stops. I guess that's where the phrase, "the sky's the limit" comes from. There is nothing to stop you. Thank you very much. Good night.